Welcome to Gear Pro Guide's video series. I'm Cameron and I'll be your host today, and the topic of discussion is a compound bow and how it's set up for archery season. Of course, this is my bow. It's an older Parker series, but it still works just fine. So what we're going to be doing is going over the different parts of this bow and how you might use it differently, how you may upgrade it slightly differently for your season and how you want to shoot. For those who don't know, compound bows are usually an aluminum riser like this one, very stout fiberglass limbs attached to a cam or pulley system. What this does is allows me to compress these very stiff limbs with much less force than it would be on a recurve or a longbow. These cams or pulleys are also set up asymmetrically, so there's what's called a let-off. So rather than holding 55 pounds of draw weight at this distance, as these cams have come to their full draw potential, they're now at a let-off of about 30 pounds. It's much easier for me to hold this still without so much arm fatigue, which makes them very attractive for pretty much any hunter looking to squeeze extra power out of their bow. Now this bow is equipped with a fold-down arrow shelf. There are other options out there such as whisker biscuits. There are even some magnetic ones available. What they do is basically reduce as much friction as possible so when the arrow passes through it, it doesn't veer off. Because naturally if there was any pressure on that arrow, any little thing holding it, it would start diverting its path, and then you run the risk of missing your target, missing your animal. This bow is equipped with a 4-post true glow sight. It's called a Peep Sight basically. Right back here you have the peep. And when this comes to full draw, this will be aligned with my eye. And you have 4 posts, which are illuminated because they're illuminated sights. And these glow, and I've set them for different distances, 15 yards, 20 yards, 25 yards, and 35 yards. So when I'm at full draw, and I know that that animal's been at a marked distance of 15 yards, I can put that peep sight and that dot on where I need for that animal, hopefully make that connection. What I also have is a release. I'm not holding this string with my fingers. It's a great way to tire out your fingers, especially with a much heavier draw weight. I hunt pretty light because most of the animals down here are pretty small. But if I was elk hunting where a minimum draw weight is 60 pounds or higher, I wouldn't want to be holding this string that whole time with my fingers. I'd use a trigger release, which is attached to my wrist. And I pull the trigger on it just like I would a rifle, and that'll release. Rather than carrying my arrows on my hip or my back, I have what's called a side quiver. And this is a quick detach style, so I just push a button, awkwardly of course, and it comes off. So I can lighten my bow, store it, things like that. And when it's time to go hunting, strap that guy back on there, again, awkwardly. This will hold 6 arrows. I usually keep 4 on there. Other guys have different preferences for how they want this mounted, how many arrows they want. It all depends on your species and how you hunt. Again, this is just my bow. Your mileage may vary. So now that we've gone over kind of the basic parts of a bow, how you would set it up for most hunting, let's go outside and see how I shoot.